Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to have a look at the top 5 class setups you guys want to be using in Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Now these are going to be some of the fastest TTK weapons you guys can be using, so you definitely want to make sure you're checking these out, trying them out, and let me know if you do so down below. So there's a lot to get through, so definitely sit back, relax and enjoy it. If you do, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss a single video here on the channel. And if you want to have the best aim in game and be the best Call of Duty player going, you need to get yourself some control freaks. You can get some Black Ops 6 ones currently where you get some additional in-game content, and you also get a nice little silver coin as a little keepsake. You can use the code Floppy Penguin, or you can click the link down below and save yourself 12% off at checkout. So before we jump into any particular weapon, I'm going to just show you everything I rock on the rest of the class setup. I basically keep it exactly the same. So we are going to use any random pistol, mostly the 9mm because I'm working on getting that gold at the minute. We also have the baseball bat as a mid-processor, working on that one as well. Always want to make sure you got a stim shot on. It's just literally essential, especially if your health is low and you're in those sticky situations. Always useful. Lethal is the only thing I change. If I'm feeling like I want to annoy people in games, I'll use the combat axe. Usually I'll probably choose a nade because I do play a lot of Nuketown, so I like to throw nades across map and get those cheeky extra kills. Assault pack, I feel like that's always essential. Like, there's lots of options you can choose from, but realistically the only one that's probably any good is going to be the assault pack, so you continuously keep yourself stocked up. Plus you also get additional XP as well by your teammates using your assault pack. Perks, we are going to use Flat Jacket, Dispatcher and Guardian, so then we will get the Strategist Specialist perk. I probably will switch this up later down the line once I finally get to 10 prestige, but as it stands I just leave it as that because this helps you get additional XP per game and helps you get those kill streaks a lot faster as well. So the first weapon we're going to look at is going to be the Krieg C. So first of all, you've got a few options in terms of sights. I always tend to go for the Kepler Microflex. It does give you a wider field of view with the red dot sight there, so I do prefer this one. We then are going to use the suppressor. Literally just keeps you off the minimap, and that's pretty much as simple as that. Barrel, we're going to use the reinforced barrel. The only other alternative option is maybe the long barrel, or if you are trying to get your headshots, go for the CHF barrel. But the reinforced barrel will increase your damage range and bullet velocity by 2. The under barrel, we're going to use the Ranger foregrip, horizontal recoil control and sprint movement speed will be increased on that. Magazine, we are going to go for the extended mag 1. It's going to reduce your reload quickness, so there's no point going for a super large magazine. This is the perfect size. You get the 45 round mag, which is brilliant. Rear grip, we're going to use the commando grip, so the ADS speed and sprint to fire speed is increased. With how fast paced this game is, you want to make sure you've got the best movement on any weapon, so you want to use the balance stock on this weapon. It'll increase your strafing movement speed, hip fire movement speed, and aim walking movement speed. And then lastly, just to get rid of any additional recoil that's in this weapon, there's not overly too much in it, but just to make sure it's nice and clean, you want to make sure you got the recoil springs on there. So that is the Krieg C. All the handling, accuracy, mobility and firepower increases and decreases there. Like I said, it is one of my favorite weapons in the game as it stands, but obviously that changes on a regular basis. So then for the C9, this is probably the fastest killing weapon in the game. Personally, I think it's absolutely OP as hell at the minute. So once again, we use the Kepler Micro Reflex so that we do have that nice thin frame, and it does provide a nice unobstructed view throughout the sight. We're also once again going to use the suppressor. I pretty much use this on almost every weapon to keep off the minimap as much as possible. Once I do eventually change my perks, I'll be running likes of Ghost and Ninja and stuff like that to keep hidden. We're then going to use the reinforced barrel once again, increases that damage range and bullet velocity. We are going to use the Ranger foregrip for the horizontal recoil control to be increased and the running movement speed as well. And then lastly, we're going to use the extended mag 1 once again to give us a larger mag. It's going to give us 40 size mag, so at least it's fully stocked. You don't necessarily need the extra 3 attachments on this weapon, just way how overpowered it actually is. So I would highly recommend just having this set up. If you want to add more attachments on, that's up to yourself, but there's not really much recoil in this weapon at all. Then the SOG, I've had to play around with the SOG a lot because I couldn't quite figure out how I like this. It wasn't a very strong weapon at first, but once I figured it out, I really enjoy using this weapon. The recoil on this is absolutely disgusting, so we are going to be crushing that as much as we possibly can. We're going to use the suppressor first of all, then the reinforced barrel to increase that damage range and bullet velocity, because of course you want to try and get those better shots from medium range. Vertical foregrip, so we can get as much of that horizontal recoil control suppressed as we can, so that'll increase it by 3. Extended extended mag 1. Some people use the flip mag on this just so you get your reload quickness. It does reduce your mag size a little bit, but not by much. But your handling will increase on it slightly in terms of reload quickness. But personally, I always prefer to have a slightly bigger mag instead of having to reload too often. Then we're going to use the CQB grip. This will increase your dive to fire speed, slide to fire speed, and sprint to fire speed. We're also going to use the balance stock once again because this is literally the perfect stock to use to try and squash any of that slowness when you are moving around with the weapon. And then lastly, recoil springs. It's going to help with your horizontal recoil control and vertical recoil control. So in terms of the accuracy, it's going to improve significantly. So you definitely want to be trying this weapon out. Next up is going to be the XM4. First of all, the Kepler Microflex once again. The next attachment we are going to be using once again is the suppressor, and same with the reinforced barrel to increase that damage and bullet velocity. We are going to use the Ranger 4 grip, horizontal recoil control, sprinting movement speed once again going to be increased. Mag size, you want the extended mag 1. You could use fast mag on this one if you wanted to, but it does reduce the amount of ammo you've got in your mag. But personally, I always feel like the extended mag 1 is just the perfect balance. Does take a little while still to reload, but not as long as it would be for any of the others. So then we're going to add commando grip to increase our ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. Light stock, so we get that hip fire movement speed, and strafing movement speed. You could also use the balance stock, but I feel like the light stock fits this weapon better. So lastly, I like to use the NATO FMJ fire mods to give us that extra penetration damage, which is always a bonus, you know, to get that extra firepower when shooting through walls. Lastly is going to be the Model L, quite a popular weapon both on rank play and on multiplayer. Kepler reflex and suppressor will be on there straight away. Then the reinforced barrel once again. I love this barrel. I feel like it is literally the best one in there. You could maybe use the gain twister barrel, which increases your bullet velocity, or your long barrel for your damage range, but you might as well use the reinforced barrel, gives you a nice balance of both. And then lastly, the CHF barrel is always good for your headshots if you are going for your camos. This weapon does have a bit of recoil, so vertical foregrip is a must just to give you the maximum amount of horizontal recoil control enhancer. And then extended mag 1 once again. We're going to use the commando grip on this one to increase your ADS speed and sprint to fire speed. Could potentially switch that for the CQB grip. It doesn't increase your ADS, it's only your dive to fire speed, slide to fire speed, and sprint to fire speed. So you are probably better off with the commando grip, but it is up to yourself so which one you want to use. Then we're going to use light stock once again, hip fire, movement speed, and strafing movement speed. Like I say, you want as much mobility in this game as you possibly can. And then lastly, we are going to use the NATO FMJ just to get that extra penetration damage. Now, you could potentially switch that up to the recoil springs if you want to take out that last little bit of recoil, but the recoil is manageable with all the attachments we have got. But that is going to be the top 5 class setups you guys want to be using currently in Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Of course, we're going to be getting an update the next day or so in regards to Season 1 Reloaded, so this could change over the next couple of days. If it does, I will make a more updated video on that. If you've enjoyed the video, guys, definitely drop a like, subscribe if you're new, but as always, I'll catch you on the next video.